Dan, you said earlier this week on Trojans Live that Akili has been the one with the green dot. I think Eason had said at one point that he was using the green dot. I guess I wonder what went into the
so
with Akili.
All through camp we kind of mixed it up with different players. At one point it was Eason, then it was Mason, then it was Akili. So it was on different guys all throughout camp, and we just felt like Akili ended up being the right person to have it on.
Are there any challenges with him kind of being as far back as he is in the defense?
Just different. When I was in the NFL, I'd say half the teams I was on put on the mic, the other half was with the free safety. So.
Why Akili, just in terms of, a guy with his leadership and that sort of thing? Why did you kind of entrust that to him?
Leadership, communications, poise, and just the way he communicates on the field.
With your top unit so far, has anything surprised you now that you've seen 2 games? The best guys on defense, any surprises?
No, the guys, like I said, they had a really good offseason. It was good to see them be able to put it on display in actual games. There's still a lot of stuff to correct, but all the stuff we've seen so far, we have not been surprised.
What was your first impression of Anthony Lucas when you took this job?
A lot of potential, a lot of ability. He looks the part, just has to play the part every single down, and he's getting more consistent every day.
And how have you gotten that out of him?
It hasn't been me, it's been all of us, and then most importantly, it's been him. He's done a great job responding to the coaching. He's done a great job learning the scheme, and he's done a great job as being more consistent, not just off the field, but on the field as well.
Was that an instantaneous thing for him?
Oh,
kind of just embracing that change?
Yeah.
Lincoln mentioned, towards the end of the spring portal, just you guys were very intentional about bringing in guys who were going to be culture fits and maybe staying away from some guys in the portal who weren't. What made you guys feel comfortable with Gavin Meyer, and why'd you want him in the room?
From the first time I met with him, it was just, he checked every single box on the field and off the field, and he has not disappointed at all. From the way he carries himself in the meeting room to walkthroughs, the individual drills, he's just a guy that does everything right. So for the other guys in the room, it's just another person that they can watch.
What's been your goal for this bye week, and how do you attack such an early bye week?
The goal for this bye week is, first off, take a look at ourselves. What can we improve on, whether it be scheme, whether it be technique, fundamentals, and then also just get prepared for the Big Ten. We have, the next string of opponents we have are going to be different than the 2 opponents that we just played. So making sure that we're working the stuff this week that we are going to be doing the next couple weeks.
Over the season, do you see your philosophies defensively evolve?
Yeah, I think it has to. Each team that you play is a little bit different, and then as the season progresses, you have more stuff on tape. So you always have to evolve as far as how is the offense attacking us, but also how can we attack them.
Lincoln said it was one of your strengths that you were able to explain things in simple terms for people to understand. I wonder, in the course of your time coming up as a coach, was there any coach who did that really well, who you maybe modeled that after? Or?
Gus Bradley. He's the best teacher I've been around, and before I worked with him, I would say, I didn't think about teaching and coaching hand in hand, but I learned a lot of the way I teach from him. I think he's the best teacher I've been around.
What is it about his teaching?
Just how detailed he is and how he can make complex things very, very simple, and it allows guys to play fast.
Dan, the people want to know, we see you going through your pregame routine, walking around the field. A lot of people are asking what you're listening to when you're going through that. Do you have any specific song or music or anything?
No, I just have a playlist on Spotify of liked songs I've been building since freshman year of college almost. So it's stuff from 2012 all the way to now.
Is there a go-to, song or genre, that sort of thing?
A little bit of everything.
How long is this playlist by now?
Oh, it's pretty big. It's in 300 songs plus. It's pretty big.
Is that something you always done?
Yeah, it just helps me clear my mind and just get prepared for the game. The game's going to have a lot of ups and downs, and you kind of have to stay level-headed all throughout.
When you think big picture, would you ever have aspirations to be a head coach one day?
And down the road, right now I have a lot in front of me, and I have a lot for me just to grow as a coach. College and NFL are a lot different. In the NFL, you're just coaching football, that's it. In college, you wear a lot of different hats. So I'm fortunate enough that I get to learn from a head coach like Coach Riley right now.
Do you like one better, NFL or college? A little bit both?
And pros and cons of both. The one thing I love about college is just coaching the kids. I've had more fun in coaching this age range than I've ever had.
Just going back to Gavin, obviously you're rotating on this defensive line, but just what did you guys see from him in fall camp that made you confident in him to start and embody that role the first couple of weeks?
Consistency, and then just how fast he picked up the defense. If you watched our practices in camp, you wouldn't know that he was a player that just got here. From the very first practice, like he was on it, just from the fronts, the adjustments, the pressures, and seeing how he picked it up that fast was super impressive.
Talking about Gus Bradley, you make it sound so easy, just kind of explaining complex stuff in simple terms. I guess I wonder what it is about him, maybe in his personality, that made him so good at being able to communicate like he did.
I don't know exactly why. I'm sure he learned it from someone else, but he just has a great way of just reaching the players, but really anyone. Like, you can know nothing about football. You sit in a meeting with him and you'll think you're a genius afterwards.
Any other kind of mentors who you feel like have really influenced your coaching style in a similar sense?
There's been a lot, Rex Ryan, obviously, Wink Martindale, who we're about to play. But as far as just teaching, I'd say Gus.
What was it that Wink taught you in your time with him?
Well, I got a chance to work with him for a year, and again, just his creativity. Him and Rex are two of the most creative guys in the NFL.
Does that come into consideration when we're playing Michigan next week, that he knows what you're thinking, maybe you know what he's thinking? How do you adjust to that?
No, the system itself, it's so flexible that 5 different people can have the same playbook and it's going to look completely different. So in my opinion, when I watch us play and I watch Michigan play, it doesn't look like the same defense.
A lot of injuries, a little bit in the linebacker room recently. What's just gone into moving Anthony Beavers there and working him there?
He's been playing nickel, Sam, safety, will, dime. He's kind of been playing everywhere, and just because of his body type and versatility, I feel like the more he can do, the more he's going to be on the field.
You guys talked about wanting to rotate a lot of DBs this year. I guess I'm curious who some of the guys that have stood out to you in the defensive backfield.
All the guys who have played so far have done great, and obviously we're going to keep on rotating those guys more. So each game we've had, it's not going to be the exact same. There's going to be games where you might see more safeties play than the week before, or more guys in the slot. So each week's going to be a little different.
Let's do one more.
I was Cam Fountain, just progressive. So you share that moment with him after the field goal. What do you like about him?
Cam Fountain, he's been doing great. He was my second home visit ever. So he was one of the first kids I got to recruit when I got the job here. And it's just been cool just to see his, not just growth off the field, but just on the field from spring to now. He's like a different player.